Thank you so much. Very happy morning to all of you. Uh, I'm a professor and I'm going to behave like a professor, which means I'm going to ask you a lot of questions and you be ready to give the answer. Are you all ready? This is also meant to be a master class, which means आपके दिमाग में जितने जाले लगे हैं क्लाइमेट चेंज को लेके वो सारे जाले साफ होने वाले हैं. And maybe by the end of this talk, you'll realize that whatever you knew about climate change is all wrong or maybe partially correct. तो ये लेक्चर बहुत ध्यान से सुनना पड़ेगा. सबके पास मोबाइल फ़ोन है? एक बार दिखाएंगे अपना मोबाइल फ़ोन. वेरी गुड. इसको अगले 30 मिनट हाथ नहीं लगाना है ना? You all agree with me? Yes. Wonderful. अच्छा, before I go further, let me ask you a question. How are you all? You know, I have made a rule that I only talk to happy people. मैं दुनिया भर में ट्रैवल करता हूँ, मैं बताऊँगा, मैं एक यात्रा पर हूँ, मैं लोगों से पूछता रहता हूँ, भैया कैसे हो, सब बोलते फाइन. ठेले वाले से पूछो भैया कैसे हो, बोलता फाइन. किसी बड़े कॉलेज में जाके स्टूडेंट प्रोफेसर लोगों से पूछो कैसे हो, बोलते फाइन. किसी बड़े ऑफिसर से हो, कलेक्टर से, प्रिंसिपल सेक्रेटरी से, हाउ आर यू, ही ऑल्सो सेज फाइन. तो मुझे लगता है दुनिया में कुछ तो लोचा है ना. मैं मुंबई से आया तो मुंबई भाषा में बोलते दुनिया में कुछ तो लोचा है, गड़बड़ है. भगवान ने इतना कुछ दिया है, साइंस, टेक्नोलॉजी, इकोनॉमी, मोबाइल फ़ोन, टीवी, फ्रिज, वॉशिंग मशीन, और ये हम लोग फाइन पे अटके हुए हैं. गीता में लिखा है जितने कर्म हम जीवन में करते हैं सबका उद्देश्य एक ही होता है, वो खुश होना. इसलिए मैंने नियम बनाया, मैं उन्हीं लोगों से बात करता हूँ जो हैप्पी होते हैं. सो विद दिस नोट लेट मी आस्क ऑल ऑफ यू, हाउ आर यू ऑल? वेरी नाइस. एंड व्हाट इज द प्रूफ दैट यू आर हैप्पी नाउ? स्माइल ऑन योर फेस, राइट? तो जब तक मैं आप लोगों से बात करूं तब तक कीप ए स्माइल ऑन योर फेस. नकली होगी तो भी चलेगी. यू ऑल एग्री विथ मी? बाय द वे, जस्ट टेकिंग अ लिटिल डाइग्रेशन, आई नो सम ट्रिक्स हाउ टू ब्रिंग स्माइल ऑन समबडीज फेस. यू वांट टू लर्न अ ट्रिक? यस, क्विक ट्रिक. हम क्या करेंगे, एक छोटा सा प्राणायाम करेंगे जिससे स्माइल आती है, और प्राणायाम का नाम है आश्चर्यचकित प्राणायाम. देखो उसके नाम से स्माइल आती है, आश्चर्यचकित. इसमें क्या करना है, वी हैव टू फील आश्चर्यचकित. और आश्चर्यचकित कैसे फील करते हैं? आंखें खुल जाती है, गले से थोड़ी आवाज आती है. एक बार मैं आपको करके दिखाऊंगा, फिर आप लोग करना. लुक एट मी केयरफुली. हाउ डू आई फील आश्चर्यचकित? इट इज समथिंग लाइक दिस. गॉट इट? इट्स ऑल योर टर्न. गेट रेडी फॉर आश्चर्यचकित प्राणायाम. हाथ साइड में कर लें और हम सब लोग 3 की गिनती पर आश्चर्यचकित फील करेंगे. रेडी? और जितने जोर से आश्चर्यचकित फील करेंगे उतना अच्छा लगेगा. सब लोग रेडी हैं? आप खुश नहीं होना चाहते? जो खुश होना चाहते हैं सबको करना. ओके, एट द काउंट ऑफ 3. रेडी? 1 2 3. ऑल राइट. हाउ आर यू ऑल? प्राणायाम अच्छा लगा? प्राणायाम अच्छा लगा तो मुझे लगा मेरे लिए कोई थोड़ी थोड़ी ताली वाली बजाएगा. हम मॉडर्न लोग बिगड़ते बिगड़ते इतना बिगड़ गए हैं कि ताली बजाने के लिए भी स्पीकर को ही बोलना पड़ता है. Well, with this happy note, let me bring your attention to our bigger home. एक हमारा छोटा घर होता है जिसको हम इतना साफ रखते हैं, बढ़िया एकदम कांच जैसे साफ होना चाहिए. एक बड़ा घर है जिसके बारे में चिंता नहीं करते हैं, और करते हैं तो एक्चुअली अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं है कि क्या चिंता करना चाहिए, इसलिए गलत चिंता करते हैं. इसलिए आई एम गोइंग टू, मैंने कहा ना सारे दिमाग के जाले साफ करेंगे. वी आर गोइंग टू टॉक अबाउट दिस बिगर होम एंड आई एम गोइंग टू bring you basic understanding about what is climate change and why it has changed and who has changed it, and when are we going to correct it and how are we going to correct it. These are very simple fundamental questions that everybody on this planet should understand, and I hope you are ready to take your notes without your mobile phones. By the way, मैं प्रोफेसर हूँ, शादीशुदा हूँ, मेरी 2 बेटियाँ हैं, बट मैंने 11 साल के लिए घर छोड़ा है. आई हैव डिसाइडेड कि मैं 11 साल घर नहीं जाऊंगा. इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि मेरा दिमाग खराब हो गया, स्क्रू ढीला हो गया. मैं लोगों से पूछता रहता हूँ, एक IIT का प्रोफेसर 11 साल के लिए घर क्यों छोड़ सकता है? 2 ही कारण हो सकते हैं, एक तो प्रोफेसर का स्क्रू ढीला हो गया या फिर सच में कोई उचित कारण है. मेरा स्क्रू ढीला लगता है? अरे से समथिंग. हाँ, थैंक यू सो मच. नहीं तो कभी कभी डाउट होने लगता है. तो स्क्रू ढीला तो नहीं, इसलिए मैं 11 साल की यात्रा हूँ, क्योंकि ये क्लाइमेट चेंज इतना सीरियस इशू. ये मैं ये बस है, मेरा घर है. लास्ट टाइम मैं अपने घर गया था तो 2020 था, और नेक्स्ट टाइम जब अपने घर जाऊंगा तो 2021 हो जाएगा. एंड दिस इज नॉट अ नॉर्मल बस. देयर इज अ बेड इनसाइड, किचन इनसाइड, washroom inside, library, office, temple, garden, everything is inside. And I have been traveling almost 68,000 kilometers. I have given more than 1600 talks and met lakhs of people in this. So जो मैं आज कहने वाला हूँ, ये 4 लाख लोगों के साथ में interaction के बाद में जो मैंने खुद सीखा है, that is what I am going to narrate. By the way, before I give a warning, if you are going to attend this lecture, I am sure you are going to change. If you have allergy not to change or allergy to change, don't listen to me carefully. आप definitely बदलने वाले हो. Let me start asking this picture that is there. यदि इस समय हम धरती का एक picture लें, how is it going to look like? Well, 2 scenarios will look like. One is the growth, the other is the degradation. What is growing right now? Computer, AI, mobile, all this is growing. But what is degrading right now? Air, water, and soil. What is improving is non-essential for survival of human life. If AI is not there, we will survive. If computer technology is not there, we will survive. Yes or no? जिसके बिना जी सकते वो सब ग्रोथ पे रहे, और जिसके बिना जी नहीं सकते, एयर, वाटर एंड सॉइल, 2 मिनट सांस नहीं लेंगे तो मर जाएंगे, 8-10 दिन पानी नहीं पिएंगे तो मारे जाएंगे, 10-12 दिन खाना नहीं खाएंगे तो मारे, जिसके बिना जी नहीं सकते वो सब डिग्रेड हो रहा है. कितनी आश्चर्य की बात है, कितनी बड़ी विडंबना है, राइट? मैं हमेशा लोगों से पूछता हूं कि ये जो पिक्चर है, जिसके बिना जी सकते हो ग्रोथ पे, जिसके बिना जी नहीं सकते हो डिग्रेडेशन है, ये मॉडर्निटी है कि स्टुपिडिटी है? हाँ, स्टुपिडिटी है. The height of stupidity. How can we do this? So is there something wrong in this world is what we have to understand, and that is what I'm going to talk to. There is something wrong, and that wrong is called climate change. And everybody before me has already mentioned, and Ashish have mentioned, all kind of erratic things are happening. Unbelievable things are happening. The picture on the left and bottom is a picture from Odisha. It's a picture of a Sadbhai village I have taken personally. This village used to be there. It is not there anymore. You know why? Sea level is rising. Sea level is rising at the rate of 4.5 millimeter per year. Temperature is rising, floods, droughts, heat wave, forest fire, ice melting, sea level rise. Everything that can go wrong is actually going wrong right now. Unfortunately, 99% people do not even understand why. What we understand is a very, very superficial, and that is the job of professor to bring you sense why actually it is happening. Well, why it is happening? It is not happening due to the deforestation. पेड़ पौधे कटने के कारण ऐसा नहीं हो रहा है. It is not happening because of the air pollution that you see in Delhi. उसके कारण भी नहीं हो रहा है. We all, क्यों हो रहा है फिर? क्यों? क्योंकि एक 2 तरह के गार्बेज होते हैं हमारी लाइफ में. एक होता है विजिबल गार्बेज, वी ऑल पे अटेंशन टू. पेड़ कटता है तो दिखता है, एयर का पॉल्यूशन दिखता है, बट दैट्स अ वेरी टाइनी बिट ऑफ अ प्रॉब्लम. That's a visible garbage. There is another garbage called invisible garbage. The invisible garbage is much, 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 much bigger than you can imagine. Invisible garbage you can't touch and feel and see. Visible garbage per family per year in India is 150 kg. Invisible garbage is 10,000 kg. Visible garbage को आज नहीं उठाएंगे तो कल उठा लेंगे, कल नहीं तो परसों उठा लेंगे, अगले साल उठा लेंगे. Invisible garbage, once it is gone, it remains there in the atmosphere for hundreds of years, on an average 300 years. Visible garbage, most of it is a biodegradable except plastic. तो आज नहीं तो 6 महीने में biodegrade हो जाएगा. But invisible garbage is a greenhouse gases. It has greenhouse effect. तो एक बार जो चला गया, 300 साल तक आपको भुगतना है. The AC that we are enjoying in this room today will have impact on environment for how many years? 300 years. That is what is the climate change. Well, why it is happening? Not because of, as I said, trees. It is happening, thank you so much. This is your bed. It is happening, this is happening, you know why? Because of one single reason, and that is the use of energy. जब से इंसानों के हाथ में एनर्जी लगी है, खास करके कार्बन एनर्जी, we have created problem. Look at this, we started to industrialize in 1850. We started using coal, and then crude oil came around 1900, then gas came, natural gas around 1950. Look where it is going. Today we are using solar, wind, biomass, hydro, nuclear, coal, oil, gas, so many energy resources. But guess what? 80 to 85% of energy is only carbon. Even today, 80 to 85% energy is carbon. What does it mean? It means a lot. Number one, India is an energy poor country. हमको सब import करना पड़ता है. इंपोर्ट करने के लिए डॉलर लगते हैं, एक्सपोर्ट करना पड़ता है, एक्सपोर्ट करने के लिए मैन्युफैक्चर करना पड़ता है, मैन्युफैक्चर करने के लिए एनर्जी लगती है, और एनर्जी कहां से आती है? बाहर से आती है। लुक एट द विशियस साइकिल। हम अपने चक्र में कैसे फंसे हुए हैं, लोगों को होश नहीं है। 17 लाख 18 लाख करोड़ रुपए हर साल सिर्फ एनर्जी को इंपोर्ट करने में जाते हैं। दैट इज अ बिग प्रॉब्लम इन द करेंट जियोपॉलिटिकल सिचुएशन। इतना टेंशन है दुनिया में, इतने वार हो रहे हैं, इतना इंपोर्ट डिपेंडेंस इज नॉट गुड फॉर एनी कंट्री एंड देयरफॉर नॉट गुड फॉर इंडिया। सो एक तो ये प्रॉब्लम। द सेकंड प्रॉब्लम इज all this coal, oil and gas is made out of carbon, and whenever we burn carbon, what is the chemical reaction? Carbon plus oxygen equal to carbon dioxide plus energy. हम सब एनर्जी को यूज करते, राइट? एंड व्हाट डू वी डू विद द कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड? रिलीज इन द एटमॉस्फेयर। क्यों? एटमॉस्फेयर तुम्हारे पिताजी की प्रॉपर्टी है, दादाजी की प्रॉपर्टी है, मामा की है, चाचा की है, काका की है, नहीं, तुम्हारे पिताजी की प्रॉपर्टी नहीं है। But we all treat it as your father's property. That is what we are doing. You know? And when do we release carbon dioxide? कहाँ से होता कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड? जब एसी चल रहा था, जब ये लाइट चलता है, जब प्रोजेक्टर चलता है। और कहाँ से कार्बन एमिशन होता है? गाड़ियों से होता है, और इंडस्ट्री से होता है, और किसी भी फॉर्म में यूज होता है। आपको पता, आप सब लोग ब्रश करते हैं, यू नो ब्रश करना कितना खतरनाक काम है, आप लोगों ने कभी रियलाइज नहीं किया होगा। द ब्रश करना इज अ वेरी डेंजरस एक्टिविटी that we perform. You know why? Because to brush your teeth, the amount of material that requires is huge, and 85% comes from carbon. You need toothpaste, has to be manufactured. Toothpaste मुंह के अंदर जाता है, चूंकि वो हाइजीनिक होना चाहिए, तो बहुत स्टैंडर्ड में मैन्युफैक्चर किया जाता है, तो बहुत सारी एनर्जी लगती। हम महान लोग टूथपेस्ट को ट्यूब में नहीं खरीदते हैं, बढ़िया सुंदर सा पैकेज होना चाहिए। पैकेज इज कार्डबोर्ड, उसके ऊपर कलर से लिखना, दैट्स अ लॉट ऑफ एनर्जी। योर टूथपेस्ट इज मैन्युफैक्चर गॉड नोस हाउ मेनी 100,000 किलोमीटर्स फ्रॉम हियर। किसी को पता है आपके घर से कितना दूर से आता है टूथपेस्ट? नहीं पता है, तो उसको ट्रांसपोर्ट करना पड़ता है, डीजल लगता है, दैट्स एनर्जी, कार्बन एमिशन। फिर टूथपेस्ट को दुकान पे रखा जाता है, लाइट फैन चलते हैं। आजकल हम महान लोग हैं, टूथपेस्ट को कहाँ रखते हैं? मॉल्स में, एसी में रखते हैं, दैट्स एनर्जी। देन यू गो एंड बाय टूथपेस्ट। हाउ डू यू बाय टूथपेस्ट? पैदल चल के जाते हो? नहीं, गाड़ी से जाते हैं, ब्लिंकेट करते हैं, दैट्स ऑल्सो एनर्जी। This is the only story of toothpaste coming to your home, ladies and gentlemen. What about toothbrush? Manufacturing, packaging, transportation. और क्या लगता है? टूथपेस्ट और टूथब्रश से ब्रश हो जाता है? वाटर, वाटर के लिए पाइप लोहे का बनता है, लोहे की माइनिंग करना पड़ती। कभी लोहे माइनिंग रिफाइनिंग प्रोसेस देखी? 1400 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड, इट्स व्हाट इट टेक्स। यू नीड मोटर, फॉर मोटर यू नीड मैग्नेट, कॉपर वायर, कॉपर माइनिंग, ओवर ए टैंक, सीमेंट, कॉन्क्रीट, आयरन। ये सबसे ब्रश हो जाता है? नो, यू नीड वॉश मशीन मेड आउट ऑफ सिरामिक। मेल्टिंग टेम्परेचर ऑफ सिरामिक इज 1600 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड, लॉट ऑफ एनर्जी। इज दैट गुड इनफ टू ब्रश आउट टीथ? नो। तू सुबह सुबह इतना संबर सा, क्या बोलते इसको, थोबड़ा देखने के लिए क्या लगता है? मिरर मेड आउट ऑफ क्वार्ट्ज, 850 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड मेल्टिंग टेम्परेचर। इज दैट गुड इनफ टू ब्रश योर टीथ? नो। बाथरूम इज क्लोज फ्रॉम ऑल साइड, सो बल्ब लगता है, बल्ब को चलाने के लिए बिजली लगती है, बिजली को के लिए कोयला लगता है। इतना सारा तामझाम करते हैं, तब जाके जीवन का छोटा सा काम संपन्न होता है, जिसको हम क्या बोलते हैं? ब्रश करना। सो अंडरस्टैंड ब्रश करना कितना खतरनाक है, समझ में आया? अच्छा, इसका ये मतलब बिल्कुल नहीं कि कल से ब्रश करना बंद कर देना, प्लीज। सब अड़ोसी पड़ोसी परेशान हो जाएंगे। इसका मतलब है you have to become cautious about that. Brushing teeth can be such an activity, such an act of carbon emission, which we don't even realize. What else we do in life? Eating food. 20%, 25% of global carbon emission coming from food only. ये इंसानों का खाना ही इतना खतरनाक हो गया है। 25% is food. What else? Traveling, wearing clothes, using electricity, paper napkin, WhatsApp message. Everything is a carbon emission. So every action and consumption is a carbon emission. This is one line you should write everywhere. Can you repeat with me? Every action and consumption is carbon emission. Every, ये समझेंगे तब तक क्लाइमेट चेंज समझ ही नहीं आएगा। Every single thing is carbon emission, big or small. And when 8 billion people does it, 8 billion people sends a WhatsApp message in the morning. Each WhatsApp message is a 4 gram of carbon emission. 8 into 4, 32 billion gram of carbon emission just happens because of you want to say something, hello, good morning. जिसका कोई मतलब नहीं है, लोगों को वो मतलब भी नहीं तुम्हारे से, पर तुमको सुबह सुबह उठ के 100 लोगों को बोलता hello, good morning. That is not, you should not do that until it is really required. So every act of consumption is a carbon emission. Unfortunately, as I said, this carbon once emitted goes in the atmosphere and remains there for 300 years. आज जो बढ़िया टेस्टी सा खाना खाने वाले, इश्रे वाले, खिलाने वाले, उसका असर दुनिया में कब तक रहेगा? है ना? नहीं, अभी नवदुर्गा खत्म विचारों से कितना फास्ट करवाओगे? What I'm saying, be cautious about it. That's it. What you need to do? By the way, कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड हम कहाँ छोड़ते हैं? एटमॉस्फेयर में. एटमॉस्फेयर ग्रो हो रहा है. ये जो ब्लू लेयर है, आप लोगों ने कभी लाइफ में एटमॉस्फेयर नहीं देखा हो. This is atmosphere, by the way. Science is growing, technology is growing, economy is growing, atmosphere is growing. Yes or no? No, it is not growing. Atmosphere cannot grow. It is finite. हमने क्या करके रखा है? एटमॉस्फेयर को क्या करके रखा है? ये बड़ा वाला गार्बेज बिन है. ये छोटे वाले गार्बेज बिन को you can clean, empty it. This garbage bin you can't even empty it. It is all getting filled and filled and filled. The amount of carbon that we are throwing, you'll be really surprised to know how much it is. The carbon dioxide, you see, this is the curve that you have to follow. The timeline, the curve, the carbon dioxide that we are throwing, look where it is going. Here, यहाँ तक ठीक था. Look where it has gone. In just matter of 100 years, the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is 53% more. Can you believe it? We have become so dangerous that we have changed our atmosphere by 53%. How dangerous it is. And this carbon dioxide is greenhouse gas. इसका एक ही काम है, greenhouse effect. What is greenhouse effect? Trapping up the heat, which means planet's capacity to trap the heat has increased by how much percentage? 53%. Does it mean that planet will become warmer? Yes, of course. It is going to become warmer and warmer and warmer. How? This is a trend. This is a global temperature trend. Look where it is going. And if you look at this line from there, it will look like a straight line. But if I look at it from here, it is not a straight line. You know what is it? What is the shape of this line? Exponential. This change is not linear anymore. That's why हर बार हम क्या बोलते हैं? ऐसी गर्मी तो पहले नहीं थी. Yes or no? ऐसा ठंड तो पहले नहीं था, ऐसे बारिश तो नहीं थी. Why? Because the rate of change itself is so high that every year is a distinct year from the previous year. That is climate change for all of us, ladies and gentlemen. Every single year is a distinct year from the previous year. That is how fast it is changing. And that's why it is dangerous, because you don't have any time. The change is so fast. And that's why, as per the data from the NASA and everybody else, 2024 was the warmest year in human history. In human history, Homo sapiens have been there on this planet for how many years? 300,000 years. 3 लाख साल पुराना हमारा इतिहास है. 3 लाख साल में कभी ऐसा नहीं हुआ जो पिछले साल हुआ. मनुष्य जीवन के इतिहास का सबसे गर्म साल. Warmest year. And एक कार्टून मैंने देखा था, बहुत सुंदर सा कार्टून है. Father, says to the child, his son, what does father says? Father says to his son, son, this is the warmest year of my life, but coldest year of your life. हर बच्चे के जीवन का सबसे ठंडा साल ये साल, लास्ट ईयर. उसके जीवन की तो मुंबई भाषा में कहेंगे वाट लग गई है ना? और वाट किसने लगाई हम देखेंगे अभी, ताकि तुमको समझ में आए कि किसको ठीक करना है ना? All right. So this is a physical system. Every physical system has limits and boundaries, right? Every system has a limit and boundary. Like आप जिस चेयर पर बैठे हो, एक आदमी बैठे, 2 बैठे, 3 बैठे, नहीं टूटेगी. हो सकता है 10 बैठे टूट जाए, right? So every system has a physical limit. Climate change also has a physical limit. There are thresholds, global warming threshold. The first threshold is at 1.5 degrees centigrade, and the second and the ultimate threshold is 2 degrees centigrade. What is going to happen at 1.5 degrees centigrade? The change in climate starts to become irreversible. And what will happen at 2 degrees centigrade? The climate change will be completely reversible. What will happen beyond 2 degrees? No amount of human efforts will be of any use. मैं हमेशा मजाक में बोलता हूँ, पर ही दुनिया के सारे लोग साधु बन जाओ और लंगोट पहन के जिए और बोले दुनिया में आप कुछ नहीं करेंगे. Will you be able to reverse the climate change? You will not be able to. इसलिए जो करना है कब करना है? हाँ, अभी करना है. How much time is left for 1.5 degrees centigrade? You have any idea? We are almost there. Last year, some months we already crossed it, but वो fluctuation होता रहता है. But in 3, 4, 5 years, we are permanently going to cross 1.5 degree and 2 degree centigrade के लिए, how much time is left? 20-25 साल, 20-25 years. What are you going to do with the net zero 2070? ये क्या है? Net zero 2070, क्या मतलब है उसका? Is there any meaning? It has absolutely no meaning. 2070 net zero by India has no meaning because you are already going to cross 2 degree. After that, everything is anyway going to be reversible. The only thing you can do on this planet after that is suffering, more suffering, and greater suffering. There is no other outcome after that. इसलिए जो करना अभी करना है. And that's why I left my home, started yatra. I feel why people are not restless. Why you all are not restless? Why government is not restless? Why schools and colleges and children and parents and policy makers and press is not restless is my question to all of you. Think about it. We are only 20-25 years and it's actually going to, it may happen earlier than that because change is accelerating. The ultimate deadline by the end of this century, 75 years from now, what is going to happen? The global temperature rise will happen minimum 3 degree up to 6 degrees centigrade. 3 degrees centigrade average rise. It can be 4 degree, 5 degree. 3 is the best case scenario. जब 4-5 temperature the degree centigrade बढ़ेगा, the question mark is whether human life will survive. Itself is a question mark. And I have really written in great detail about it, one of the book which is going to be published by Penguin. The book will be out in December. Have a look at it, read it, so that you really wake up and realize what is climate change and take the right action about it. So we are very, very dangerously close to, the place where return is impossible, but only suffering will happen after that. So the $1 million question is, yes, climate has changed. Climate change because of the use of carbon energy. Carbon energy consumption is increasing. Every consumption is a carbon emission. How do I solve it? You want to know how do we solve it? Yes. How many of you want to know how we want to solve the problem of climate change? Very good. कुछ लोगों को अभी भी फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. हाँ, देख लेंगे, नहीं भी होगा तो क्या फर्क पड़ेगा ना? यही प्रॉब्लम है दुनिया की. ये जो लोग न्यूट्रल रहते हैं ना, वही समस्या का कारण है. उधर के भी नहीं, उधर के भी नहीं. अच्छा, एक बार फिर से पूछ लेता हूँ. एज ए प्रोफेसर का काम है सारे बच्चों को एक साथ पढ़ाना. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू वांट टू सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम ऑफ क्लाइमेट चेंज? हाँ, अभी थोड़ा ठीक लगा. वेल, two things you have to understand. If you want to understand how to solve it, you have to understand what to do and what not to do. अच्छा, what not to do को bold और underline करके रखा है. You know what does it mean? It is more important to understand what not to do. Because most of the time, we are all focusing our effort in what is visible. But what is not visible, ध्यान नहीं जाता because it is not visible. So it is even more important to understand what not to do. Well, first of all, who has caused the climate change? Who has caused the climate change? Humans, Whenever I ask this question, tell me who has caused the climate change. All intelligent, smart, educated people, you know what they say? Humans have done it. I have not done it. Humans have done it. Are you all human by any chance? अरे इसमें तो डाउट नहीं होना चाहिए. All you are humans. So who has caused the climate change? We. Wrong. You know what? Because it is I who is enjoying AC in this room. It is I who is wearing clothes. It is I who is going to eat food. It is I who is sitting on a chair. So who has caused the climate change? I have done it. You know why? Because directly and indirectly, through food, travel, electricity, clothes, buildings, cement, concrete, furniture, toothbrush, toothpaste, everything is a carbon emission. So who has caused the climate change? And who is going to correct it? Very nice. ये समझना जरूरी है. वरना इस हॉल के बाहर जाके पूछो, who should correct the climate change? Oh, industry should do this. Oh, government should do this. अरे भाई, तुम टूथपेस्ट का उपयोग करते हो. टूथपेस्ट बनाने वाला टूथपेस्ट बना के वेयरहाउस में थोड़ी रखता है. तुम खरीदते हो इसलिए बनाता. So it is important to understand I am responsible. Second thing is, let us observe what is not working as a solution to climate change. What is not working? Okay, ready? Ready सब लोग? What is not working as a solution to climate change? Planting trees, पेड़ पौधे लगाने से क्लाइमेट को कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. You know why? Because the rate of growth of problem is so high that the poor trees cannot match it. And I think मिनिस्टर के साथ मुझे टाइम नहीं मिला, पर समझाने की जरूरत है. प्लांट लगाना अच्छी बात है, पर प्लांट लगाने से पर्यावरण नहीं बचने वाला. आई हैव डन अ कैलकुलेशन. एज पर द कैलकुलेशन वी नीड टू प्लांट 8 to 10 trillion saplings every single year. For your information, all the forests in the world put together, there are only 3 trillion trees standing right now. So therefore plantation is a feel good thing as of today. 50 years ago it was a great thing because the rates were matching. सीधी सी बात है, प्रॉब्लम की रेट और सॉल्यूशन की रेट मैच होगी तो सॉल्यूशन होगा, नहीं तो नहीं होगा. यस सर नो? So therefore planting trees is great thing, but it is not the solution to climate change. Second favorite topic of all the NGOs working in the country is what? Plastic. Collecting plastic, recycling plastic, decomposing plastic. Plastics are only 3% of the problem. Even भोलेनाथ प्रसन्न हो जाए और तुम्हें बोले कि भोलेनाथ क्या करो, दुनिया से प्लास्टिक हटा दो. भोलेनाथ बोलेंगे तथास्तु, दुनिया से प्लास्टिक गायब. Will that solve the problem? No. That's only visible part of it. That's a very tiny part of it. Yes, collecting plastic is important. Yes, keeping our environment clean is important, but that is not the solution to climate change. Number 3, policy making. Kyoto Protocol, Paris Agreement, COP meetings, Energy Conservation Act. We have been making lots of policies last 30, 40 years. Do you think problem is getting solved? No. So plus policy making is also not a solution. What else? Technology development. AI, ML, we are able to go to the moon and Mars. Solar has become advanced electric vehicle, green hydrogen. Is problem increasing or decreasing? Increasing. Technologies are not effective. And economy is anyway growing all over the world. Problem is also growing. So therefore, please, ladies and gentlemen, please, please, please realize these are not the solution to the climate change. You know why? Cancer cannot be treated by taking paracetamol. These are all paracetamol. These are all paracetamol. Cancer, you can't treat it. How do you treat cancer? You have to remove the root cause of the problem. And what is the root cause of climate change? Carbon emission. तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? कार्बन एमिशन को क्या करना पड़ेगा? Reduce or zero? Reduce or zero? Reduce. So हम कैंसर का इलाज करने गए, डॉक्टर ने आधे कैंसर सेल्स बॉडी से मार दिए, आधे वही छोड़ दिए. Will cancer be treated? No. So reduce or zero? देखो कितना कठिन है, लोगों को बोलने में तकलीफ होती है, इमेजिन करना तो दूर की बात है. That is the whole problem. The world has not understood the problem itself. Carbon once emitted as life of 300 years, even if you reduce to 90% and keep the 10%, over the time it will accumulate to a great number. Therefore, reduction alone is not the solution. You have to make it zero. Is that all clear? You have to make it zero. World doesn't even say it loudly that we have to make it zero. Reduction is not going to be enough. It has a huge life. So I hope all of you are going to remember now. As cancer cannot be treated by taking paracetamol, climate change cannot be solved by planting trees, collecting plastic, making policies, and developing technologies. Then what is the solution? Again, the question is, what is the solution? By the current vocabulary does not show the path. Very important for all of you to understand. This vocabulary जो हम use करते हैं, ये पूरे climate change और sustainability और ये circular economy, ये सब path नहीं. What is not? Circular economy is a great favorite topic of many people who think they understand the sustainability and climate change. Will circular economy solve the problem? It cannot solve the problem until unless you fix the circle. Because recycling में भी energy लगेगी ना. Collection, plastic collection. For example, Indore is a great example of it. What Indore has done beautifully is how to collect the garbage, how to transport it, how to process it. Right? But processing itself is energy. Processing itself is chemical. Processing itself is water, air. Everything is required. Therefore, circular economy will not work until unless you fix the circle. And those who talk about circular economy doesn't talk about it. So that is not going to be really the path. Green technologies. Will solar energy solve the problem? Electric vehicles solve the problem? Green hydrogen? No. You know, I'm a professor of solar energy. People refer to me as solar man of India, what do I say? The rule number 1 of using solar energy is do not use solar energy. What is the rule number 1? Do not use solar energy. Why? Because solar भगवान के यहाँ से नहीं आता है. कहाँ से आता है? मैंने PhD किया है. Silicon has a melting temperature of 1480 degrees centigrade. You have to melt 3 times before it becomes silicon crystal, wafer. Then you have to make module. For making module, you need glass. You need aluminum frame, aluminum mining. You need iron structure. For power निकालने के you need copper cable. To process the power, you need inverter. To store energy, you need battery. All this requires a lot of mining, chemicals, energy. And at the end of life, again you have to recycle, again chemical, again energy. So any technology is not a solution until unless you follow certain rules. That rules I am going to tell you. इसलिए मैं बोलता हूँ दुनिया में कोई ग्रीन टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं होती. पेड़ पौधे पत्ती को छोड़ के दुनिया में कुछ भी ग्रीन नहीं होता. But we have a height of green washing. You know, once I was in Hyderabad airport and I saw one green advertisement somewhere. All green, green. I went close and read it. You know what was the advertisement? Green diesel. Can you believe it? Diesel bhi green hota hai. I said, what? So amount of green washing that is going in the world is enormous. So no technology can be green except plants and trees only. That's it. Nothing else is green in this world. Is that all clear to you? Very good. Net zero. Net zero by 2070 anyway has no meaning because you are going to cross 2 degrees centigrade. But net zero means what? X minus x equal to 0. Right? But ये दोनों x बढ़ते जाएंगे तो 0 का कोई मतलब है क्या? Right? You're not fixing the x itself. X is growing and minus x is also growing and therefore everything is growing and everybody is enjoying this whole idea of net zero. No, it is not going to work until unless you fix x. Is that clear? Climate financing. You know, last year COP meetings all about climate financing. Anyway, कोई financing वैसे भी देता नहीं है. But climate financing दे भी दिया तो सबसे पहले पैसे का काम क्या होता है? To buy more and produce more, right? That is what financing does. I would say, I will suggest, I will give the solution that it's not. And of course, climate policies, as I said, is not going to work. So this vocabulary is not very effective. Is that all clear? Hello? Very good. What else we have to understand that we are in a urgency. It's a matter of urgency. You cannot behave business as usual. You cannot. Because time is running like that. Every passing year is a missed opportunity. If you don't act right now, 20, 25 years later, any action will have anywhere no meaning. You have to, it's a matter of urgency. 2 degrees centigrade cost is very close. And once we cross it, as I said, survival itself will be costly and painful. बचोगे तो सही. क्योंकि प्रलय आके एकदम से ऐसे इतनी आसान मौत नहीं मिलेगी. कैसे मिलेगी पता है? एक मूवी में एक विलेन हीरो को कैसे मारता है? तड़पा तड़पा के. तो नेचर हमें कैसे मारेगी? ये सबको जोर से बोलना चाहिए. सोने के पहले मंत्र की तरह जाप करना चाहिए इसका ना. नेचर हमें कैसे मारेगी? तड़पा तड़पा के. More floods, more droughts, more heat waves, more forest fire, more ice melting. All will happen more and more. So what is the answer then? Answer means yes and no, right? Finally, we are ready to listen to the answer, right? Ready? You have to answer me yes and no. Is the science improving? Technology improving? Economy is growing? Yes, all yes. Okay? Other side of answer. Is the size of our planet growing? Amount of minerals growing? Amount of soil growing? No. धरती बढ़ नहीं रही है, मिनरल्स बढ़ नहीं रहा है, पानी बढ़ नहीं रहा है, तो अलमारियों में कपड़े कैसे बढ़ते हैं? तो गाड़ियों का साइज कैसे बढ़ता है? तो बिल्डिंगें कैसे बढ़ रही है? ये सब धरती से आता है ना? धरती से आता है ना? तो कैसे बढ़ते हैं अलमारियों में कपड़े? बताओ. गाड़ियों का साइज कैसे बढ़ता है? बिल्डिंगें कैसे बढ़ रही है? ये तो कुछ और ही चल रहा है. When your salary is fixed, your expenses are fixed. When your planet is fixed, your consumption should be. हाँ, ये solution है. तो इसके लिए तो ताली बजाना चाहिए. First thing you have to solve, if you really understand, you want to solve the problem of climate change and you want to restore the balance of environment, you have to realize that Earth is finite, it does not change. Every resource is finite. Human does not have a capacity to create extra atom on this planet. Rude भाषा में कहें मनुष्य की औकात नहीं है एक एक्स्ट्रा आइटम धरती पे पैदा कर सके, राइट? और जब एक एक्स्ट्रा आइटम धरती पर पैदा नहीं हो सकता तो ज्यादा प्रोडक्शन, ज्यादा कंजम्पशन कहां से होगा? सैलरी फिक्स होती है तो खर्चे फिक्स होते हैं. ह्यूमंस आर ऑलरेडी यूजिंग रिसोर्सेज इक्विवेलेंट टू 1.8 अर्थ. So ladies and gentlemen, the first thing you have to do is what? What is the first thing we should do? Cut 0.8 earth and bring it to 1 earth. That is the first step to the climate solution. If you don't do this, nothing in this world will help you. Nothing. You can do as much as policy as you want. You can grow as much technology as you want. You can make as much climate finance available as you want. Nothing in this world can solve the problem of climate change. This is the fundamental truth. You cannot change it. No amount of science and technology can increase the size of material, earth, and therefore, if you don't follow, nothing is going to work. Is that all clear? Yes. Everybody? Yes. This is the solution. पहला solution. अच्छा, ये किया उसके बाद में सब काम आएगा. We need technology, of course. We need policy, but first you have to do this. तो ये you have to reduce consumption by 0.8. So basically, you have to reduce your consumption by 50%, right? So एक ही सत्य को पालन करना है. On the finite earth, with finite resources, there has to be finite consumption. Let us repeat it together because this has to become the universal formula, right? So I will say you have to repeat it. On the finite earth, with the finite material, there has to be finite consumption. Whose consumption has to be finite? हाँ, mine. वरना शाम को जाके पड़ोसी को समझाना, देखो आज मैं तुमको एक बात बताता हूँ. आज प्रोफेसर सोलंकी ने इतनी बढ़िया बात बताई ना, एक काम करना, तू अपना कंजम्पशन कम करना. No, your consumption has to be read. Got it? All right. I hope दिमाग के जाले सब धीरे धीरे साफ हो रहे हैं. हो रहे हैं. Very good. So that's why I started what is called the finite earth movement. It's very simple, and there are two taglines to finite earth movement. The number one, it says finite earth, finite consumption. Simple, because earth is finite, consumption has to be finite. Nobody can change this. And second tagline is even more important. Why my consumption has to be finite? Because I can afford, but nature cannot. You know, we forget, Dazi, hum bhul jate hain, when my salary increases, when my business increases, my capacity to buy increases. Does the nature capacity to supply also increases? No, it does not. Nature's capacity to supply is fixed and finite. Only your capacity increases. इसलिए मेरे शर्ट पे भी लिखा है, see? Can you all read this? I consume less, not because I am a poor professor. I consume less because I can afford, but nature cannot. मेरे घर में फ्रिज नहीं है, गीजर नहीं है, माइक्रोवेव नहीं है, एसी नहीं है, हमने कभी लगाया भी नहीं. मैं कपड़ों पे प्रेस नहीं करता. I take bath without soap, not because I cannot afford. मैं कर सकता हूँ, but nature cannot afford. So you as a parent, if you really want to do something for your children, don't teach them. Don't send them to school and college. I can feel what is going to happen to them. जो हालत है धरती की, बेचारा जब 15-20 साल बाद पढ़ के कॉलेज से बाहर निकले, उसकी वैसे ही हालत खराब होने लगी. तो बच्चों को पढ़ाना लिखाना बंद कर दो. कुछ करना हो तो क्या करना है? जीने लायक धरती छोड़ के जाना है. वो बेचारे बच्चे को 3 ही चीजें चाहिए. तुम्हारा धन संपत्ति नहीं, की 3 ही चीजें चाहिए. ऐसा धरती जहाँ पे शुद्ध हवा को सांस ले सके. आप में से कोई गारंटी कर सकता है? नहीं. ऐसी धरती जहां पर बिना फिल्टर का पानी पी सके, आप में से कोई गारंटी कर सकता है? नहीं. ऐसी धरती जहां पर बिना केमिकल का खाना खा सके, आप में से कोई गारंटी कर सकता है? नहीं. आपके बच्चों को मेरे साथ 1 घंटा छोड़ देना, आपको घर से नहीं निकाल दे तो मेरा नाम चेतन है. जिस दिन बच्चों को पता चलेगा मेरे ही माँ बाप ने पिछले 30 साल में धरती पे जिया है, यही वो लोग हैं जिन्होंने गड़बड़ किया है. So my request is, let's just follow the truth of the life, truth of the planet. We are living on a finite planet, therefore our consumption has to be finite. I have kept a target to bring 1 billion people in climate action in next 3 years. क्योंकि time कम है तो target बड़ा लेना पड़ेगा. I want to bring 1 billion people in climate action, and I believe it is really possible. You know why? Why it is possible? Because inaction is the action for climate correction. क्या करना है? 1.8 अर्थ को 1 करना है ना, तो कंजम्पशन कम करना है. तो कंजम्पशन कम करने के लिए पैसा चाहिए, हाँ या ना? नो. टेक्नोलॉजी चाहिए, टाइम चाहिए, कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए. हाउ ब्यूटीफुल इज द सॉल्यूशन. व्हाट यू हैव टू डू? नॉट डू समथिंग. You know, we run a competition. We run a competition of not doing something. हमारे कंपटीशन चलता है, उसमें आप कुछ ना करो तो उसमें इनाम मिलता है, 50,000 रुपए का इनाम मिलता है. I believe that we can make it public and make it common and so that everybody enjoy not doing something. अच्छा, इसका मतलब गीता में लिखा कर्म करना जरूरी है, वरना कल से बिस्तर पे पड़े रहना. प्रोफेसर सोलंकी ने बोला नो, कुछ नहीं करना है. कर्म तो करना है पर कंजम्पशन नहीं करना है. हमारे पास ऑलरेडी इतने अलमारी में कपड़े हैं 40 जोड़ी. इस बार दिवाली पे एक जोड़ी नहीं खरीदा तो कुछ फर्क पड़ेगा, पर एक जोड़ी नहीं खरीदा तो 10,000 लीटर पानी बचेगा, 20 किलोग्राम कार्बन एमिशन बचेगा, 1 किलोग्राम पेस्टिसाइड और फर्टिलाइजर बचेगा और इतना वेस्ट बचेगा. So for not buying something, you can actually contribute greatly to the climate correction. You don't need anything. Inaction is the action, and therefore I believe everyone should join. American, Indian, African, rich, poor, young, old, गांव का, शहर का, सब लोग climate action में join कर सकते हैं. Are you all going to join the finite earth movement? Let me see the raise of hand. You're going to join? Wonderful. Thank you so much. You can claim for yourself. By the way, I created a framework. All of you can, whether you're industry, whether you're institution, whether you're school, whether you're college, whether you're government, all of you can join this climate action framework. What you have to do, 3 things. First, you have to become consumption literate. You have to understand what is this game of consumption all about. एक 60 minutes का capsule है, that will be the foundation of action or inaction. क्या करना है मुझे? Become consumption literate. Number 2, you have to follow what I call 2P climate habits. That is a what to do, 60-minute. What to do. And then once you understand what to do, then how to do it. AMG action filter, and I'm quickly going to close this. Understanding consumption, the trail of consumption. Using paper napkin is very simple. But before the paper napkin, what are the process that happens? And after the paper napkin is discarded, what happens? Once you load the entire process, you will not be touching the paper napkin. So become consumption literate. There is a training available online. It's free for everyone. We are going to convert into all regional languages and foreign languages. It is for the whole world because the whole world is a consumer. Second thing is, it is not enough to do one thing. It is not enough to save the soil. You cannot save the water. You cannot do. Why? Because everything is connected. You have to worry about every single emission that you make in life, and therefore we have to divide into 5 categories. Dr. Rehan ने एक number बोला था कि electricity is the greatest thing. No, electricity is only 22% of global carbon emission. Only 22. There is so many other things. What you have to do? Follow 2P. 2P is what? A very beautiful acronym. By the way, 2P is one character that I'm going to show you. What is 2P? This is our 2P, by the way. 2P tells you what to do. You know? So let us all remember 2P. 2P means, T means travel less. U means use item wisely. P means purchase cautiously. E means eat carefully, and lastly, eliminate electricity waste. This put together is a 360-degree of carbon emission. That is 360-degree. You have to follow every single side of it. Lot of people do just one aspect of it. You cannot solve the problem of climate change in isolation. Would you all remember 2P? अच्छा 2P बोलता है what to do, पर how to do? क्या करूँ मैं? Travel less मतलब क्या करना है? Eat carefully मतलब क्या करना है? Follow action filter, AMG action filter. What is AMG? A is avoid what is avoidable. For example, this summer vacation, is it avoidable to go to Goa or Himalaya? Yes or no? Avoidable, avoid it. If you cannot avoid it, minimize it. Combine. If you cannot minimize, generate it locally. AMG. याद रहेगा? A means avoid, M means minimize, G means follow AMG. And if you are not going to follow AMG, you will have to say OMG, oh my God. ये कितना कठिन है, oh my God. Solar महंगा है, oh my God, छत पे जगह नहीं है. So follow AMG, and these are brother and sisters, 2P and MG. So what I'm asking every school and colleges, you can do in your companies or wherever also. We are going to sign an MOU with the ISRE Delhi chapter. You can bring them your musket also, no? Remember and bring 2P and MG in your life, and you're going to solve the problem. So find the joy. Eventually, you should join the finite earth movement. What you should do? Change yourself. Who should be responsible for climate change? I. So first change yourself, because I consume, I correct, I cause, I must correct. Follow 2P and AMG a bit. Second thing, what you have to do? Build team. Because you are running out of time, you have to bring out to more people. For example, you decide to not wear iron clothes, bring 10 more people into it. You decide I'm not going to buy clothes this Diwali, bring 10 more people into it. You decide कि गर्मी की छुट्टी में दूर हिमालय पे ना जाऊंगा, bring 10 more people into it. Bring team because we are running out of time and climate change is a problem that belongs to everyone. Carbon dioxide has no boundaries, right? तो आपने कार्बन किया, पड़ोसी ने किया, पड़ोसी देश ने किया, everybody has to suffer. So everybody has to come together. So build team, spread this. It is not enough that you do it alone. And third thing is, contribute something. Once you understand you can contribute, you can become our volunteer, you can give money, you can give your time, whatever you want to give, but contribute something so that we can bring change. And with this, let me request all of you to contribute. By the way, we want to make this as a public moment. And I would like you to scan this QR code and contribute. अच्छा सर, minimum contribution है 100 रुपए का. Can you all contribute 100 rupees monthly? हेलो, पक्का इतना लोग करेंगे? अच्छा, जैसे लेक्चर होगा ना, आधे लोग भूल जाएंगे, फिर खाना खा ले लंच के समय तो और आधे भूल जाएंगे. इसलिए इस शुभ काम में देरी नहीं करना. अच्छा, this is a setup. You have to follow that process. It's a monthly contribution. Because we believe that एक बार खाना खाने से जीवन नहीं चलता, एक बार डोनेशन से क्लाइमेट ठीक नहीं होने वाला. It is a monthly contribution. I really request all of you to make sure whatever smallest contribute, you can do more also. But ये public का problem है, public के द्वारा ही solve होना चाहिए. Done? Please do that. You can go to the Energy Swaraj website and do this. And then this is our portal, thefiniteearth.org. There are a lot of things are available for free. You can do the trainings. There is consumption literacy training. There is energy literacy training. You can actually, blog your climate habits. You can earn climate points, climate correction points. You can get certificates. A lot of things are already there, and it is free for everyone. So this is how the website looks like, the Finite Earth Movement. You can go to that website and look at it. And we have kind of gamified the whole climate correction. So every action you are going to do, you can log in there. You can create your own climate action data, save carbon, get your certificate. This is how it looks like. You can actually add, it's a kind of a shopping cards. You can add what you want to do. And once you edit, it appears on your climate action card. Once you finish the activity, you earn the climate correction points. So this is how the portal looks like. And at the end of it, I want to give you the new vocabulary. Not net zero, circular economy. I want to give 6 new points. Ready? This is the final climate mantra that you have to take home. Number 1, recognize that climate change is an urgency. You have to give and behave like it is an urgency of subject. You cannot be relaxing कि अच्छा अभी दिवाली के बाद करूँगा, exam आ गया है, नए quarter के बाद. You can't do that, right? Number 2, on the finite earth, ever increasing consumption is not possible no matter what your science and technology, right? So you have to limit your consumption. Number 3, every act of consumption is a carbon emission, right? Everything that we do is going to result in carbon emission. Number 4, I consume, I cause, so I must correct. It is I who has to correct it. Number 5, climate action start with I, and I need to follow climate to P habits. And number 6, each consumption we need to follow AMG decision filter. ये 6 मंत्र यदि आपने लगे, whether your institution or industry, you will be able to really solve the problem of climate change within time. By the way, we run many programs. There are lots of programs that are running. You are all invited to join it. You can become volunteers. I am, by the way, training people to become speakers, right? So you can become a speaker like me. You can start talking. There is a professional training that we do so that you can start with confidence talking about what climate change. We are going to launch a new program called Fame Expressions. We are going to bring a climate album of its kind. First in the world. 6 गाने हमने बनाए album में, and they're very powerful song. जो आदमी गाना सुन लेगा वही हिल जाएगा. तो आप इधर से नहीं तो उधर से somewhere से. So we are going to launch this in next month on 26 November. Our climate album will be coming, and a lot of things are happening through the art also. So many things are here. There's an initiative called Finite 30 activity. So each day you can do small, tiny action for carbon emission. So with this note, I really like to thank the organizers, ISRE team. I'm part of the family of ISRE, right? We are now close to each other so much. So thank you very much. And let's say at the end, I can afford, but nature cannot. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.